Hello there. Well, lots of people talking about the weather at the moment. In fact, lots of people moaning about the weather, and rightly so. Let's take today just an example. We've seen gale force gusts, even in the town centres towards the south. We've seen snow in northeastern Scotland on the top of the Cairngorms, around 10 to 15 centimetres. OK, it's the tops of the mountains, but it is the middle of May. We wouldn't normally expect to see that. And some parts, particularly in Cumbria and parts of Wales, have seen more than 4 inches of rain falling in the last 24 hours. Let's have a look in more detail at those wind gusts as well. Around the Needles, up to around 85-mile-an-hour gusts, so not ideal for sailing. Pretty wild out there at the moment. And people talking about the temperatures as well. It really has been incredibly chilly. Having to put on all those extra layers has really brought it home. Temperatures by day have been down on average around 2.5 degrees, and by night around 2 degrees. So gardeners and growers really feeling the impacts of that at the moment. So let's have a look at what's going to be happening then for the rest of the day. Well, based on what we had earlier on, you can see it continues to be a very wild picture out there, wet and windy, and we're pretty much all in the same boat. Temperatures really adding to the feel of those wet and windy conditions, but at least we have something a little bit, now we're splitting hairs here, a little bit better for tomorrow and the start of the weekend. Generally drier, brighter, less windy as we look ahead to Saturday, and turning wet and windy, I'm afraid, again on Sunday. So tomorrow's improving conditions are only a very brief little shot at something a bit more cheerful. Let's have a look at what's going on. Well, as you can see, if we pause this, we're between 2 areas of low pressure. This one here brought the very wet and windy conditions for today. It really has been pretty wild, and weather watchers will know that these lines on the chart, these are called isobars, and when we have this sort of hump in them like that, this is what we call a ridge of high pressure, and that promises some improved conditions for a time, but it doesn't last very long. So although things are a little bit better through tomorrow, already we've got signs of something unsettled again moving in from the west as the next set of Atlantic frontal systems starts moving in. So although it's going to be a decent start to the day, I think, on Sunday across the central and eastern areas, we can expect conditions to fairly rapidly go downhill once again as we look ahead to those systems moving in from the west and bring a return of the wet and windy weather. I know I'm not really making any friends with this forecast, but let me just add a bit more in. We're looking at sunny spells and showers for Monday and Tuesday of next week, and then signs of something a little bit better, a little bit more settled, drier, warmer towards the back end of next week. Of course, the week after that is half term, so many parents are keeping everything crossed for signs of something a little bit better. The signs are good at the moment, but of course you need to keep updated with the forecast. Have a lovely weekend despite the weather.